efforts to introduce specialists in research methodology in social sciences. Today, we have a renowned guide, resource person, and expert in HR, Dr. Kirti Dharwadkar. Dr. Kirti Dharwadkar holds the position of Director at Pimpri Chinchwad Education Trust, S.B. Patil Institute of Management, a very renowned institute in Pune. She has more than 29 years of experience in corporate teaching, training, and administration. Dr. Dharwadkar holds a PhD and MPhil in Development Economics and MPM in HR and Industrial Relations from SPPU, Savitri Phule Pune University. She is a PhD guide under SPPU. 10 students have already been awarded their PhD degree under her able guidance. Madam has to her credit more than 30 national and international research papers and has co-authored 4 books. Dr. Kirti is the recipient of renowned awards and accolades such as Indian Achievers Forum Award, Women of Excellence Award 21-22. Lokmat Professional Icon Awards 2021 at the hands of Honorable Balasaheb Bhausaheb Thorat, Minister for Revenue, Maharashtra. Academic Leader of the Year 2019. Madam is a member of various reputed bodies of academics such as the Academic Council, Board of Studies, and PhD committees. She is also a postdoc evaluator at Savitribai Phule Pune University. She holds professional lifetime membership at the Integrated Chamber of Commerce and Industry ICCI, New Delhi, NIPM Pune, and the Indian Society of Training and Development, ISTD Pune chapter. Madam, welcome to this platform. Thank you for this channel.
Please accept my sincere thanks for inviting me and given an opportunity to share my views. It is always pleasure to share the knowledge, being a teacher, being an academician, and the person like your stature is invited me to share my views is my honor, and I really thanks from bottom of my heart.
My pleasure, madam. My pleasure, madam. Researchers at all levels will learn a lot from you. Madam, you are very expert in HR issues. Despite your excellence in development economics, you are practically excellent in coordination and communication. Your own organization has excelled in this area. Many organizations are unable to achieve their mission when they fail to communicate and coordinate down the line with the employees. My question, madam, is that for any organization success, communication and coordination very important? What is your experience? And my question further is, how do educational organizations improve it?
Yes, sir. As you mentioned in my introduction that I have been working with the industry also, where the communication and coordination is a key to handle all the human resources who are working in your organization. Now, when I talk about the communication, the most important part is the two-way responses of the person who are talking with each other. Communication, most of the time, people perceive that it is a language. Yeah, language plays a vital role. I won't say that you can ignore the language, but language includes not only the script language, but even the body language makes a lot of difference when you communicate. So the first alert, or I will say my first important tip for increasing that communication in any organization is that have the regular interaction. Now, in terms of regular interaction, doesn't mean that every day you should go and talk a lot of things with your employees or your colleagues or your peers. But periodically, you should have that communication system at your organization where people can come and share the things with you. So if you want the success of any organization, though you are sitting in any position in your hierarchy, it is very important that how people perceive what you want. See, many times we sit at a higher level and people at a bottom level do not match with your goal because there is a communication gap. So when you periodically talk with them, periodically try to what is the goals of organization, and lastly the goals of even the personal individual to grow in their own career. So when this path is drawn clearly, you communicate at the beginning of your session, especially for the educational institute, where the challenges are totally different than what you are seeing in an industry. Industry is a fast growing, the sudden changes are expected. But when you come to the educational institute, we have a different kind of challenge where the stakeholders are faculty, then administrative staff, the major role plays is the students, and last but not the least is the parents of the students. So you have to keep everybody in a one line so that whatever you want to achieve for your educational institution must be very clear to all these stakeholders. Now, since I am a business management institute leader, I have to take another stakeholder in my circle is my placement team or my placement stakeholders, especially the organization or the companies who are going to visit and going to select my student. So even those people has to be in line with me. Another important second part which I feel that in the educational institute, while you are doing communication and coordination between the stakeholders, is that how open you are with the changes. See, in HR, we always say that there is always a resistance to change. But how, as a leader, you are able to convince your subordinates or your peers that change is inevitable, and how smoothly you accept that change and cope up with that and make your goals achievable. I feel that for educational institution, that is the best coordination and communication. Otherwise, if everybody will work upon their personal goals, but they are not sync with your organization goal, you will see that most of the time the educational institutions not perform as per the requirement of the market. There are very few management institute, even all over India, has that reputation that they are sharing knowledge. They are really wants the growth of the students, because the current student batches or the current student groups are very volatile. They are very extensively exposed to the information. So how you are keeping yourself updated, how you are able to convey them that your knowledge which you are getting from internet or you are reading, it is require the filtration, and that I need to every time communicate to my faculty, communicate to my people, upgrade their knowledge also regularly, try to keep them in sync with that those students are our customers, but still you have to make them knowledgeable and then send it to them, to the corporate, so that they should not, the rejection rate should be as minimum as we expect from the corporate. The challenges are many, but sir, the best key of any lock is a communication. That is what I believe completely. And the locks are getting open. There are misunderstandings, there are difference of opinions. It always happens because the more you do the brainstorming, the more your organization leadership thought. I always believe that give that open environment to all faculty members or your employees, so that they should freely think and bring new things for the students. Let them come and discuss. Then, basis of that discussion, you can understand that fine, this idea is materializable or it is not. Have that discussion openly with your faculty. Make them realize that why this idea cannot be materialized. There are many constraints, whether it is going, because they are also in a learning state, or I will say every person keeps on learning. Even being a leader, I also learn a lot of things from different people. Sometimes my juniors also, because they are more creative. We become a little bit rigid sometimes when we pass through with a lot of experiences. But this new generation is very active, very energetic. So I take that opportunity through the communication and coordination to pass on that energy to me, so that I will keep myself afresh. No, I have to match their expectation and communicate what is my vision to them, so that they all can work and join hands with me to achieve that goal which I envision, to take my institution to a different level. So I believe that every educational institution must follow that, what your trust believes in, what is their ethics, what is their vision. The director should carry that vision and ethics in him, and ensure that the same ethics and vision is percolated to the last person of your institution, so that your institution thread should not get damaged in between. If somebody, you should have a capability कि आपके पास कोई नया भी आदमी आता है तो आप उसको ट्रांसफॉर्म करके अपने जैसा बनाने की, आपके एथिक्स को फॉलो करने जैसा बनाने की कोशिश कीजिए. दैट इज व्हाट आई बिलीव कम्युनिकेशन एंड कोऑर्डिनेशन.
So nice, madam. Wonderful, wonderful. Your each word is very, very impressive and so nice, so great. What areas of research would you like to suggest to research scholars? Because this is a very broad area and it needs a lot of research. What do you advise to research scholars, especially PhD scholars?
Yeah. So I have done my PhD in 1996, which is that time when the computers are just new in India. India has just opened their market and LPG was introduced in 1991. And I got registered in 1993 January. So it was the period when I have seen that India is just exposed to the technology at a very large scale, but the absorption to that level was not yet happened. So when I have seen that how much struggle we have done, comparative to that, the current research scholars have a lot of things available on one click. But the research areas, to find it out, the research areas is become more, or I will say it is shrink rather than it should expand. Because when you have a lot of information available, people think that, okay, no, nothing is very difficult. I'll go to internet, I will Google it, and I'll pick it. According to me, the research is not that. For me, I believe that research is that when you move around in your life, what problem you faced, and you find it that that problem has to be researched. That is the actual research. Then find out that whether this particular problem is researchable or not. Discuss with the people who are senior in your field. Go and discuss that you have that idea. I feel that this problem is very unique in the society or your organization or the areas where you stay, or suppose the people who are from economics, they can think of Indian perspective, not only to your city, not only because social science has a very different subjective research areas which are available for them. We are have a very rare exploratory kind of research, right? We do it, but it is very limited. We have a more of a qualitative research base rather than the quantitative. We use tools, we use that, but still not like science and technology. We are bringing a very innovative something in the subjective matter. Hardly I have seen in the last few years people try to imitate the research, which I feel that the first and foremost thing every researcher says, don't try to copy somebody has already done it. Identify the gap and try to find it out that whatever problem you have seen it, you have experienced it, whether it is coinciding or you are bringing a new perspective to the previous researches which is already done. So the most important factor which I believe and I would like to tell to the all social science researcher is that have your original thought of problem. Don't try to see that what people do कि अरे हाँ यहाँ पर हुआ था तो I will take a separate area and I will differ in the product, but the concept is same. That is not a research what I believe most of the time. Only you are changing the sample, you are changing the sector, and then you are bringing. Many times in the conversation researcher ask कि मैम अपने यहाँ तो इसके ऊपर review of literature ही नहीं मिलता है, foreign countries में हुआ है पर यहाँ नहीं हुआ है. Then I always suggest them that then you have a better opportunity to explain that whether the concept which are used in Western countries, is it India is a platform to absorb the way it has been implemented in US and Europe or any other country. You have a different perspective because as per the continent, the people set of people also get changed. So the reactions which you are going to get for a particular thing will also differ. So many times you can see what the Kotler theory or whatever the theories given by great management thinkers sometimes do not apply in our Indian context. Why? Because the Indian scenario is totally different. The size of population is different, the taste is different, the changes are different, adaptability is different. So you can't blindly apply the same theories which are being used, because when I did it, my PhD, my thesis topic was linkages between human capital and economic development in India, and the period was 70 to 91. Now, if you see that when I started testing it, I found that Western countries have seen substantial growth in their economic development because of human resource development. The companies have seen that when they have utilized human resource very efficiently, they have contributed immensely in Western countries' industrial growth. But does India has the same platform? And I was very much keen to study the human behavior. And that is the reason why I have taken the HR perspective in my PhD thesis also. And you will surprise, sir, in Indian context, we have not seen the same growth of economics in spite of human development index has shown such a, what you call, discrete increase. Kerala being the highest human development index comparative to other states, because literacy rate was there, highest literacy rate, but if you see the economic development there, it's not like that. So in India, you cannot blanketly use that theories or use the concepts which is available in the Western countries. So I always suggest the researcher, have your original thought, see the problem which you feel that it is a problem, go and discuss with the persons who are really done some research in that, and then come up with the idea. See, research में मेरे ख्याल से कुछ right and कुछ wrong नहीं होता. Whatever comes out after your research is your finding. You can give the solutions to the problem, but you cannot say that this is a thumb rule. हो सकता है कि आपने जो डेटा सेट लिया है वो किसी ऐसे पीरियड का लिया होगा जहां पर, take an example of pandemic. If I will take the data set of pandemic, you will see that results will be immensely different than what data set we will see pre-pandemic and post-pandemic.
Yes.
Right? So
yes.
The data set also decide that how your outcome is going to come. But in social science, we have that kind of differentiation. But in technology and science, you will have that कि आपने ये दो chemical mix किए तो इसका reaction यही आने वाला है. Sometimes I feel that कि हम subjective है तो ये blessing in disguise है that you can bring so many inferences in a different aspect, that one aspect of your research being 10 different perspective of the research or outcome. So this is a good flavor which I feel that.
Madam, your talks are so nice. I don't want to finish it off. I want that it should continue for hours and hours.
No, sir,
There is
I
no
feel I am
limit of this.
consuming more time.
But
I'm consuming more time.
I have some limit of my timing.
Yeah, I
But
know, I know. So,
my last question is: you have already talked about qualitative research techniques. Oh,
yes.
in this area, which type of qualitative techniques will you like to advise to the research scholars?
Sir, I mostly see commonly use is a one-to-one interview where the questionnaires is distributed and people. That is the best one. The reason behind why it is a little time consuming, costly also. Sometimes you do not have approach, and the if you have a full-time research scholar, for him it is sometimes more convenient. But if you think that the persons are doing the part-time PhD, at that time it is many times it is really difficult for them to personally approach and do it. But one-to-one interview, why it is best according to me, the qualitative research tool to be used by most of the researchers, because when you sit in front of an interviewer, you get the larger purview. Because when you ask a question, his facial expression, reaction gives you the idea whether the answer received by you are really worth to trust. This is the one thing. The second point which I have observed is that when you take a one-to-one interview, anytime researcher is not in front of the sample, and he has some doubt and everything, he is not very keen कि again आपको email करे, phone करे और पूछे अरे इस चीज का मतलब क्या है, right? Why we give so much of importance to the questionnaire? Because it should be self-explanatory. But if any subject is little challenging, I will not say difficult, but challenging and innovative, that time you face lot of challenge to find out कि sample को आपका question समझ में आया है कि. Another which one mistake researchers should avoid is that don't copy the questions and questionnaire from the Google, because learn it to turn and convert the question. You take a base of questionnaire of your subject available on the internet, but if you see that the American style of writing questionnaire, they put the sentences that as if I am only answering the question, right? I have this. So they put the questions. And if you take that kind of style in our questionnaire, you will feel that the person who is answering that question do not understand that. So it is nothing wrong to refer that questionnaire, but I will suggest it that you turn that language into Indian or vocabulary style of asking the questionnaire. So the person will give you the real answer. Another point is that when you front to front ask the questions to the sample, he becomes more open to you to answer it. And you can twist the question sometimes. When you see his facial expression and hesitance, you can give the comfort zone to him to answer the question. And that confidence to him that, okay, fine, if you give the truth or if you give the true answer also, I'm not going to disclose this to anyone, which you miss when you send it through the courier, when you send it through the online question through Monkey, that many things are available, right? So that linkage, another best, what I feel that one-to-one interview, you develop a best network which you are going to use, or when you are going to carry that relationship for a longer period. And you can definitely have a rich pool of people in your circle, which will give you more and more resources for your further research. So I believe that one-to-one interview is the best technique. Another important second option is that the case study. Sometimes that any particular situational things happens, you should have that ability to think on that. कि ये चीज वहां क्यों हुई, because every situational analysis brings a altogether a different perspective for the problems, right? So case study also there, but the limitation of case study method is that it can be focused only for one or two situations only. But I believe that in a qualitative, the one-to-one interview gives you the best output and the real output, where you can collect the maximum data, and the researcher can use that data for a different outcome, which is become the research heart. That is what I personally believe. But there are many. Ethnographic is there. Focus group is also another important tool which they can use. But these all are having a limitation that specific research अगर आप कर रहे हो तो वो ज़्यादा useful हो जाते हैं rather than. And qualitative research observation is there, but that I believe that for paper writing is okay, and observation should be done by the people who have the immense experience in that field. Otherwise, the freshers, if they do the observation, many times they become biased towards this. So that is what my take.
Thank you. So nice. So nice, madam. I don't want to finish this interview, but people like short things, and so nice. And really, it is great, great. I think all the students, not only PhD scholars, but also MBA level students, MA level students, they will learn a lot from your talk, and this will go a long way. Your talks is so nice for coming on this platform. I'm really grateful to you, obliged. So nice, great, and I will call you once again on, because you have talked on so many issues. I will call again, especially on case studies, because you have talked about the case study and you are expert in that. I will call you once again, so on sometime. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for giving me opportunity to share my views, and it really happy to get connected with you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So nice. Thanks a lot. You may submit your research work at Journal of Global Economy, rcssindia.org. Your work is evaluated by peers with double-blind methodology. You will get comments for your work. Thank you.